So all about arpeggios there yesterday. So we started off with just doing the basic one, right? Just first, third, fifth, and where to find that. So for this, I'll just use D major and minor for the example. So we'll start off with just the basic one, and then talk about the three shapes, major and minor, so six in total, that we did on the lower, or the higher three strings, the kind of swing arpeggio shapes. Now, as I said, an arpeggio just has to be the notes of a chord played one after the other. However, you want to put that together on the fretboard. So these are by no means, the only shapes you could do. They just cover the fretboard well. So it basically means no matter what chord you're playing over, you're gonna be able to play an arpeggio for it here, 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 and all the way up and down. So right. So finding D here, we can play it on the A string. Now the major interval, the major third interval, I should say, assuming you're not going from the G to the B string, is down a string, down a fret, or up by 4 frets. And then the fifth, which is the same for both major and minor, is always 7 semitones up from the first, unless it's diminished or augmented, but we're not talking about that now. So that's going to be down a string, which is up 5 semitones, and then up another two. So major arpeggio is going to be, minor is. Now, you might not want to put the third. You kind of have options where you put your third. So you could put it there, here, or so, on the same string, or on a different string. But the fifth is the same no matter which. And remember to get that thumb on the back of the fret as well, on the back of the fretboard, because generally with arpeggios, there's a lot of reaching going on. So that kind of helps to open up your hand a bit more. So, if you wanted to go D minor, let's say, to an F major. Something like that, anyway. But the thing is, they're very coherent, so it's very easy to make tunes out of them. So going on then to the kind of the swing shapes, if we stay with D. So obviously the first one is kind of obvious. It's just that D-shaped chord, right? But we'll get that extra fifth in there as well. So this one is starting on an A note. And keep in mind as well, just for this example, the notes in D major are D, F sharp, and A. And so naturally then it follows that the notes in D minor are D, F natural, or just, F, and A as well. So that's the difference between major and minor. The third goes down one from major to minor. So this one then is. Now, obviously you could do this, but remember, you want the option of only having one string ringing out at a time. So, you're not strumming them, you're picking them one at a time. So this way of doing it here, starting off here, and only putting that one down when you actually have to, is a little bit better. It's a bit tidier. Then minor, so there's your F sharp. There's, from the chords that's the third. So then naturally this one has to come down a fret. So a bit of a reach there. No, but remember, it's only a reach because we're doing it down this low. If we were doing it in that same shape for A minor, which would be here. No, that's fine. Third finger gets to that, no problem. Okay, so that's what I suppose you would call the D shapes. So the next one then we come up. It's going to be the A shapes, right? So basically, it just looks kind of like an A minor taken up. So that's here. So last one we started off on the top on the fifth. Now we're starting off on the eighth, or we'll just call it the first for simplicity's sake. So it's coming from this, that A minor shape up here. We'll strip away anything that's not on these strings, and then we're just adding the next note up from that. So first, third, fifth. This is starting on the first, third, fifth. So the next one after that is the first again, or the eighth. Interchangeable. So naturally then, first, third, so the major one it follows then is like this. So there's your A shapes. Then finally, the E shapes. So that'd be, so if you take an E chord, bring it up to where it's a D, so that's going to be up 10 frets. There it is, D major or D minor. There's your third, so you're getting rid of that. That comes down. D minor, D major. So we're just taking it here. Now that previously that was our top note. First, third. There we go. So this is the one. This one also has to come down then to make it minor. So then to make it minor, this one comes down, and we don't need to fret this one separately anymore. We can just bar it here. Okay. So then, and then by the time we get up to here again, that's the one we were just doing down 12 frets below. So now, so then it's just a case of, you know, if you had A minor, you're taking that same sequence of shapes and it's just starting in a different spot. So let's say it was A minor, then down here we're going to be doing the shape that starts on the first. So which is the A minor shape, then the one that starts on the third, which is the E minor shape. Which if we made that major, there's the third and there's the third, so they both have to go up one. And then finally, the kind of the D shape one. I suppose it's kind of like a C as well when it's major, but we'll just call it the D shape one. Ooh, sloppy. There we go. So, and then there's the third. Bring that up. There's the major one. So just shift them around. But as I said, those shapes, you know, obviously there's, you know, what we didn't get to, which, you know, you've probably heard before, this the sweep arpeggios. But they're just basically just an extended version of what we've just done. And if you get the theory, there should be no reason why you shouldn't be able to figure out all of those yourself. You know what I mean? If you just, let's say you want those D arpeggios, but starting from a low position, like say this, and then ending as high as that. So, you know, just a case of figuring out what those in between notes are. But, you know, but stick to the smaller ones first and then expand them out. And so yeah, that's so any chord, any major or minor chord that could be played, you can play an arpeggio over it, and as well as that, you can play said arpeggio anywhere on the fretboard for any chord. So there's a lot in that, you know what I mean? So do spend time, and you know what you can do as well is if you have a song where you know the chords, play the arpeggios over it. You know, it's a fun exercise actually, and it really gets you thinking. Really, that's the kind of stuff that really gets you familiar with the fretboard as well, is doing stuff like that. You know, so just a song. Um, uh, House of the Rising Sun actually be a really good one to try that with. Keep them short now because they run through the chords pretty quick. But yeah, so yeah, lots of arpeggios. Keep it up. One more thing, check out Yngwie Malmsteen's Arpeggios from Hell. He does this huge one that starts all the way from down here and ends up here. So butchering it. So he does this. That's one note that's not in the arpeggio. Other than that, it's just all E minor. Here. I kind of just butchered it there, but have a listen. It's really cool. See you next time.